Hello.
Welcome to Drinks and Dystopia, the podcast. Always irreverent, never informed.
Very good. I thought you were going to say always irreverent, never relevant.
That's much better.
Drinks and Dystopia.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And April Fool's Day. It's like the fates have aligned and every parent in the country must be so happy.
Yeah, and it's how apt that we're doing our podcast on April Fool's Day.
Yes.
How appropriate.
I was considering posting the link for the podcast and just rickrolling everyone when they click on it.
Yeah.
To go to it.
It's probably more entertaining than the actual podcast, probably.
I've never had an opportunity to rickroll 200 people in one go, so I feel it's an opportunity, but then they'll never come back.
No.
And we're holding on to them very...
If they listen to this, though, will they come back?
This is true. What are you drinking?
Kirin Megumi.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's just a lager. Yeah, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking something called a Club Red, which is the only red me and you have ever liked, isn't it? It's from a winery called Heritage Wines that we bought on our wine tour. You're going to hear a lot of cars. You're going to hear a lot of cars and birds because it is the middle of the day and it's nice.
Yeah, we're on location
in our house.
In our house.
In Australia, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Location in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is the only red we've ever liked. We can't buy it in the shops and I've drunk the whole bottle and you've had none.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Do you want a sip?
No, it's okay. It is very good. It's very sweet actually for a red wine, isn't it?
Yeah, syrup. We couldn't drink anything unless it was syrupy and sweet.
Yeah, God, yeah, that is sweet.
But there was only a little bit left, so I got a spare bottle of white on the go. Really?
Oh, right, good. You
not
always
on the go, it's not.
You always need a spare bottle of white wine, I feel.
So, backtrack corner.
Oh, God, go on.
We don't actually have any. Nobody complained to us.
No one's listening,
no. Yeah. Okay. Mini question.
Oh, yes, go on. These are always fun.
Because I know how much you love remakes.
Oh, yeah, they're my favourite. Yeah, just like take all my best movies or take my childhood and then just remake it, preferably with Will Smith.
And shit it.
Yes, that's what I want.
With more moving cameras.
Yeah, you want moving cameras. You want everything to be CG as well.
Michael Bay's got to be in it.
Michael Bay, explosions.
Not in it, but behind the camera.
Yeah. That's what you need, you see. That's what all those 80s movies, those great, amazing 80s movies were missing. They were, we thought they were great because their stories were fantastic and the characters were interesting and the acting was superb. We thought all that, but we were actually wrong. What we actually needed was an imbecile with a camera who only knows how to do 3 types of shots with enormous explosions and computer-generated graphics. That's actually what we wanted.
Well, we recently accidentally watched some of the new Transformers film that was on telly. And by accident, I mean real accident, because we're not going to watch that. No. And the cameras, if you get a chance, just watch a Michael Bay film and count how many shots have moving cameras. It starts to make you dizzy when you notice it.
Yeah, when you actually take note of it, it's unbelievable, isn't it? The camera is constantly moving when they're just doing anything. Like, they're sat there just having a conversation. The camera's spinning around them at a Dutch angle. It's like, what is going on?
Well, so, because I know you like them so much, I'm going to ask you, what sci-fi would you remake if you were going to remake something?
Oh, that's a good question, actually, because I always feel like you think, well, what you should remake is a story that was a very good idea and just executed very, very poorly.
Yeah.
But could have been brilliant. So, like, if I was going to remake a movie, I probably would. Well, I feel like He-Man definitely had potential to be a good movie.
Oh, well, that is actually funny because the reason I have thought of this question is because Netflix are rebooting She-Ra.
Really? Is that where it comes from?
So, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited. There's a new animated She-Ra coming and I'm going to watch every episode. I'm not their demographic, but I don't care. I'm going to watch every goddamn minute of it.
I think you definitely are their demographic because you're a female who grew up watching She-Ra.
But it's like the new Muppet Babies. I read a whole article. They remade the Muppet Babies and the article was about it's not for you adults. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
The kids want to watch it. They don't care who Skeeter is. I do, but they don't. It was a funny article.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you remaking?
I might remake Masters of the Universe. I think
Yeah.
I think that's got
Would you set it on Earth?
No.
Would you put Courtney Cox in it?
No.
She's making a good evil Lynn now. Have you seen her face?
Yeah, that's true. She's pretty scary looking now already.
Oh, Courtney.
Poor old Courtney. But the saddest thing about Masters of the Universe is I think Skeletor in it is brilliant. I think...
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't look like Skeletor. Have you seen the new insurance adverts in the UK? I don't know what insurance company it is. That's what Skeletor should look like.
Yeah, but that's a very cartoon sort of version. But like,
it's a cartoon comic.
Yeah, true. But the Skeletor in the original Masters of the Universe, his little monologue he does at the end when he gains infinite cosmic power is phenomenal. Like, and people,
Itty bitty living space.
yeah, teeny bitty little space. But it's that's a great scene, and people always make fun of it, but I think it's fantastic. Like, that's some of the best acting you'll see in a terrible 80s budget movie. But it's like, it was brilliant. So I think you could remake Masters of the Universe. I think you could remake. There's a couple of movies I think you could which were good ideas, which just weren't executed as well as they could have.
I'd love
Dune,
to.
good example.
Oh, Dune! How many people have tried to make Dune? It's such a good book, and I don't understand why it's so hard for them to make a good film out of it.
Yeah.
Give it to a normal director, just a normal one.
Yeah. Don't give it to a crazy director who has some bizarro vision.
They should also. I know it's not really a remake because they've never made it, but it's a book, a sci-fi book no one's ever made, is Rendezvous with Rama. It's like the greatest sci-fi of all time. And they've never made that.
Yeah.
I did hear once, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard once that when they have the optioning for a book?
Yes.
I heard that Morgan Freeman owned the optioning for Rendezvous with Rama.
Really?
Yeah. So I heard that years ago though, so I'm hoping that happens.
Oh yeah, you'd think in this, in the current sort of climate, people like sci-fi, don't they? Like, sci-fi's quite a popular genre at the moment, so you'd think they would definitely be.
Yeah, everyone's jumping on our bandwagon.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
I love sci-fi. Oh really? And then you name anything famous from sci-fi, and they all have no idea.
They got no idea.
It's my little bugbear. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would remake?
What?
I wouldn't even remake it. I would just re-edit it. Passengers. Remember the Chris... Oh, what's his name?
The Chris Pratt one.
Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence. For some reason, they made him the star of that film. If you had just edited it from her perspective, you don't even need to change anything from the film. You just make her the first one to wake up into a ship that he's already awake in without knowing he woke her up. It'd be much better.
Yeah, that would be interesting already, because you'd have that. It'd be a twist when she finds out that he actually woke her up.
And that's quite cool. No one's ever done that before. No one's ever taken a film and the sequel is just the same film re-edited to see a different person's perspective.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
it could be interesting.
A re-edit.
Yeah.
Instead of a remake.
Yeah, just a re-edit, edit it properly.
I think He-Man's a good call though.
Yeah, I don't know if that really fits into sci-fi, because it's not really science fiction, it's just fantasy.
It's very, very, very soft sci-fi. It's in space.
Sort of, yeah. Well, it's in Eternia. Where's Eternia?
In space.
I suppose everything's in space, isn't it? I suppose. So that it all counts. But I've always wanted to see a good He-Man movie. But yeah, they remake G.I. Joe. That's a good movie ready to be made.
Sci-fi.
Well,
if you're saying He-Man's not sci-fi, then G.I. Joe is just an action man.
But if you're saying He-Man is sci-fi, then G.I. Joe is sci-fi, surely.
G.I. Joe is just an action man.
Yeah, but there's there's technology in it that we don't have.
It's like saying Die Hard is a sci-fi. Don't try and figure out how Die Hard is a sci-fi.
But it's not. Die Hard's set in like 1985 or whatever it is.
So was G.I. Joe set in like the 70s, the Vietnam War.
No, it isn't. No, not the original G.I. Joe, the toy, not the cartoon series G.I. Joe, and not the movie G.I. Joe, which is what we're talking about. The remake of the movie G.I. Joe, which was fucking garbage. Remake that. Good.
Well, luckily I've never seen it, so they should remake it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they did remake G.I. Joe recently, didn't they? Or was that the first one?
What?
About
they
like
made
15,
a G.I. Joe movie
ago?
about, well, not even as long as that, probably like 10 years ago, and it was terrible.
Samuel L. Jackson was in it or something.
I mean, is there a movie he's not in?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a creature feature?
Yes.
I love your on the spot. Let's see how many animal facts Lee knows. Like, how many weeks can you make up this?
Well, this is appropriate in many ways. Well, I'd say it's Easter, isn't it?
Yes.
So in Australia, they don't have Easter bunnies. They have Easter bilbies.
They do have Easter bilbies.
Do you know what an Easter bilby is?
I do now because we saw it this morning and had a conversation about it.
Yes, we did. But the other people listening didn't have that conversation.
That's true. They wouldn't know that. A bilby is like a weird rabbit-looking animal from Australia.
Yeah. Isn't it called a rabbit? What's it called?
Rabbit coyote or something?
No. The rabbit-eared. Oh, what was it called? A rabbit-eared jackalope. Rabbit-eared something, otherwise known as the bilby. Oh. It's like a little tiny mouse/rabbit thing, and in Australia.
Is it a marsupial?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes.
You're just saying yes because it's an Australian animal.
Yeah, all Australian animals have a little pouch. So a bilby's one of them. So in Australia they were pushing that because they hate rabbits here. Rabbits are vermin in Australia.
That actually is quite a cool fact. In Queensland, where we live, it is illegal to own a rabbit. And there's big signs, isn't it, as you cross the state border that say...
Yeah, they don't care if you smuggle heroin or sex slaves, but God forbid you smuggle a rabbit across.
It's really high fine as well, isn't it? It's like $10,000 or something?
I think it's more than that. I think it's $50,000 or $60,000 fine.
And there's secret vets, someone told me, that like you have to go and knock on the door at night and they'll help you with your rabbit if you own a secret rabbit.
Yeah, it's like back alley abortions or something. You've got to go and...
health-wise, looking after your rabbit.
You've got to take your rabbit to this secret mafia medical professional to try and help you. Do you think if they
ever get raided by the police, they run in and shout, "What's up, dog?"
Oh God! Very good. Very good.
That's good. That's an Easter fact, and because here they have Cadbury's bilbies instead of Cadbury's rabbits.
Yeah,
they do have both, but
they try
to push one.
But that's it. That's Easter. That's Australian. It's a creature feature.
Oh, and also this isn't a creature feature. This is just something everyone should know. A lot of Australians listen to our podcast.
Really?
And a lot of British people, so this is relevant for them both.
Mm-hmm.
Cadbury's is a British company.
Yeah, it was something I was surprised when I first got here, and people were like, "Oh, do you like Cadbury's?" I said, "Yes." They went, do you have Cadbury's in the UK?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" And I was kind of confused by the question at first. I was like, "Well, Bourneville is in the UK.
It's a street. It's Birmingham. You can go to the Cadbury's factory."
Yeah, well, it's a town. It's a small, like a village. It was built specifically for the factory workers of Cadbury's. But Australians seem to be under the impression that Cadbury's is Australian.
Well, they do have their own version because ours is such a high milk content. If you bring it over here, it melts really fast. So they make things here.
Yeah.
But Cadbury's is British.
Yeah.
And you all need to know that.
Although it's now been bought by it's owned by an American company. So.
Oh, well.
So we sold our soul to the devil, to be fair.
But they added lots of good flavours, so...
Yeah.
All hail the American chocolatiers.
Yeah, our American overlords are certainly doing a better job.
Like 4 minutes in, I'm already hailing someone.
Yeah, I know, that's it, yeah. It's only a matter of time until you start asking me if people in Australia worship Cadbury's.
You do.
I mean, I do, definitely. Cadbury's, if there is a god, Cadbury's is it.
Would that be on my Drinks of Dystopia bingo card? Tanya hails someone.
Yeah, Tanya hails someone. Ask if they pray to it. Yeah.
Right. This week's New World Rule is a bit different. I know I say that every time. This time it's really different.
It's not going to be different. It's going to be exactly the same as all the others.
It's not.
And we're going to be like, we don't know. The world's all the same.
Okay, so in this world...
Yes.
It is the world as we know it. But next week, you go to a medical testing facility. Just you.
Yeah. And
you try out a new medicine for something or other. That bit's not important. And you try it.
I feel like it's going to be important.
You try it. And they watch you overnight and nothing happens. You have no symptoms. They're like, "Oh, good. Okay. It's all good. Thanks. Bye." And you leave. A week later, you discover that if you think about it, you can become invisible.
Right, okay. So we've hit rock bottom, is what you're saying.
No,
here.
in this
We're
new
all out of
world.
ideas.
No, because what I wanted to do this week is that we haven't done one where it's just you that's affected in the world. Like normally we talk about the whole world, but this one is a bit better because it's just you that's getting affected.
Just me,
yeah, so it's a very isolated look at something.
So if I think about it, I can go invisible.
Yeah, and I wanted to do Bernard's Watch. I wanted you to be able to stop time, but we've already talked about time last week, so I wanted to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Invisibility. And I also think, like, you know, for some reason, when people write about invisibility, it brings out the worst in human nature. So I knew it would bring out the worst in you.
Well, my first thing was I would sexually assault Elizabeth Shue. Like Kevin Bacon showed me how to do in Hollow Man. So that was the first.
It wasn't a guidebook. It wasn't
really? I thought Kevin was showing us how it was done.
Poor Elizabeth. She's dreading the day invisibility.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be like, this is our chance.
Which one's Elizabeth Shue?
I think for some reason I think it's Elizabeth Shue in Hollow Man, but it might not be.
Well, she.
Oh, she's gorgeous. She was in. She's in the film with Nicolas Cage. Is it Leaving Las Vegas?
That really helps narrow it down.
No,
Do you know how many films Nicolas Cage is in with some young hot actress?
Well, if you give me a chance, I'll further elaborate. And
No.
I said it's the one with Nicolas Cage in Las Vegas where he's trying to kill himself, which I think is called Leaving Las Vegas, isn't it?
Again, that sounds like a lot of Nicolas Cage films.
It's literally not.
The one
There
with
is
the baby,
one.
That's in Vegas.
No,
Trying to run away
not
with
Raising
the baby.
Arizona. That's not
it's
in
in
Las
Arizona.
Vegas. No, it's not in Arizona. The baby's called Arizona.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
He's done a lot of films in Vegas.
Name 3.
The one with Sarah Jessica Parker when he's dressed as Elvis. What's that one?
No idea.
He sky jumps. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
No.
Isn't he obsessed with Elvis? Didn't he like date Elvis's daughter and stuff? He's obsessed with Elvis. He does a lot of films about Vegas and Elvis.
No, he doesn't. Name 3.
I've named 2.
No, you haven't named any.
Yeah, I have Raising Arizona.
Not in Las Vegas.
Isn't it in Nevada?
No.
I think it is. The one with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my life. You're getting a little insight here into my life. This is what I have to put up with.
What's the weird one when he says the alphabet? Is that in Vegas?
What?
A, B. That one. You know what I mean.
I know which one you mean. No, that's not in Las Vegas either.
Yeah, there's 3. We'll backtrack it next week and I'll be right.
Oh God. That's Elizabeth Shue.
Right. Okay. So you're invisible. What do you go straight back to the place and tell them?
No, definitely not.
No.
I don't want anyone to know I can go invisible. They're going to start dissecting me and take me to doing scientific experiments on me and stuff. And so no, I don't tell anybody.
Okay. So what do you think would be like the genuine first thing you'd do?
I
Do you think you'd freak
ring
out?
Elizabeth Shue's agent.
Do you think you'd freak out?
I think yes. I think it'd be very disconcerting.
Would you tell me?
No.
You'd mess with me for ages, wouldn't you?
Forever. Yeah. I would never tell you that I had this special power.
Oh my God, that'd be the worst.
Yeah, I would just spend most of my days figuring out how to ruin yours. That's all I would do.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so would you... Initial idea, would you use it for good or evil?
Oh, evil. Definitely. I wouldn't use it for good. Because what can you... Realistically, how can you use it for good?
You can go up to assholes and give them a bit of their own medicine.
Is that for good, though?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would use it to steal, definitely.
What are you stealing?
Money. Huge quantities of money.
Why does going invisible
Yeah.
delete all morals?
Because,
Does that mean
again,
morals are distinguished if you have eyes? Is that what morals are?
As Kevin Bacon said...
Okay, so something happened. We lost all of the rest of that recording.
Yeah, we just had a very thoughtful, entertaining, comedically...
Well, don't lie to them.
Okay.
They know that didn't happen.
Yeah, we spoke for about 45 minutes of nonsense about what it's like to be invisible, which just really seemed to focusing on me committing crimes.
Which is the way
really low level, quite petty crimes.
For some reason we went on a rant about cinema talkers, people who sit close to you in restaurants. Oh, and we also told a story about how much we hate people that try to swim in a pool at the same time as us.
Yeah, in fact, that was probably the majority of the 45 minutes. So you didn't really miss that much about being invisible. It was more about our
hang-ups about the world.
About the world,
and
yeah.
how we want to hide.
Just grumpy old man complaints.
I love that, like, for us, though, invisibility is about being hidden from the world, which is obvious, but most people use invisibility to get one up on the world. Whereas we
influence the world.
Yeah, whereas we would want to hide more if we got invisible. Yeah. So, what do we do now? This has never happened. We always knew it would happen. Do we carry on and try and recreate the gold that we just recorded? There was no gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we recreate that tin that we got?
Or do we come up with a really quick random new world rule and try and discuss it?
I don't know. Do we just go over this invisibility thing for a bit and then...
Okay, well we can kind of recap because I've got notes here. Okay, so what did we say you would do?
Well,
I said I'd take you to the doctor. You said you wouldn't want to go.
I wouldn't want to go to the doctor, no, because they would dissect me.
But they wouldn't be able to see you, so you could just run around.
That's true, but then as you established, we don't have parkour powers as well. So all they do is throw a blanket on me and rugby tackle me to the ground.
I just point out to the lead that you don't get any superpowers apart from being invisible. So for me, if I was invisible, yeah, I'd be shit. Like they would like throw some flour, and they'd find me instantly.
Straight away, yeah. So if anyone knew about you, you'd be in trouble because they'd catch you because it'd be very hard to stay invisible and. Unless you just went invisible and just sprinted off into a forest. But even then, if they had heat goggles or whatever,
yeah, and I'm not getting far. I can't sprint now.
Yeah, I'd be knackered. Like just talking about sprinting into a forest has got me breathing deeply.
What I might do is they'll assume I'm going to run, so I'd do a running pose, then I'd go invisible, and then I'd go and like fade off the noise as if I ran away, and then let them all run. And then I would stay.
You just stay where you are.
Yeah, and then just like walk back into my house.
Yeah, and then the dogs that are there and can smell you would just jump on you on your invisible.
And love me?
Sort of.
Oh, we did establish many times that all I would use my visibility for was to check that people were looking after animals, okay?
Yeah, Tanya was a bit confused as to what being invisible means because she was like, I would use it to look after animals. Don't need to be invisible to look after animals.
Yeah, but I could sneak into like factories and make sure they were like looking after the animals they were milking, and I could make sure the pounds were looking after animals.
But you could do that now. They have undercover people just go and work at these places and do that.
Yeah, that's true. I still need to make money because I'm not stealing money, so I need to go to work.
Oh, you're not going to steal anything? Little Miss Goody Goody Two Shoes is better than me. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I'm not stealing money. What am I going to do? Unless I find an absolute a-hole, like someone I'm like, wow, you are the worst human in the world.
There are millions of them.
Yeah, well, I'll steal a little bit from them. But maybe I wouldn't even steal it. Maybe I would better them in a game of chance. That wasn't a game of chance. It was just me tricking them because I'm invisible. Like we said, I would get you to stand behind them and I'd be like, I can guess what card you've got.
Yeah.
You could.
Do you know where the best place to find these a-holes would be? In a cinema. If they're talking.
You really want to talk about this again, do you? We were just talking about how I don't even know how we got it. Oh, we were talking about the worst people in the world, and we were saying how people that talk in cinemas, people that sit next to you in restaurants,
and that's just the way it is.
Okay, tell the pool story again.
Oh, the pool story. Okay, so this is another grumpy old man complaint.
But you need to at least link it to invisibility, because.
Okay, well, this is one of the reasons why I'd want to be invisible. Okay, because this is what I would do. We went to the Sunshine Coast this weekend. We stayed at a hotel. It has a swimming pool. So during the day, it's full of, scum. So
children, people
okay,
having a lovely holiday.
All right, if you're gonna get bogged down in semantics, okay, it's the same general concept. It's full of little jerks,
lovely
tiny
people.
Little jerks who don't have to obey any social norms because
lovely
they're
people on
they're
holiday.
Young. Because they were born recently, apparently the laws and rules don't apply to them. Okay, so
that's just ageist. You're just sad that you.
They're ageist. They're the ageists who don't have to. Anyway, they're in the pool, so I was like, well, let's wait until you know, the filth has been cleaned out of the pool and we can go in there later. So
Stop it! You're gonna have to cut the hell out of it.
okay. So during the day it's very full, whereas in the evening it's empty. So I said, let's go for a swim. 8 o'clock at night, we go down there. Pool's completely empty. It's a nice big pool. It's got about 30 sunbeds around the pool. It's completely empty. Put our stuff on the sunbeds, jump in the pool, have a lovely swim. Everyone's happy. Great evening. Very nice.
It was great. It was good to have.
Really, really good.
Because it lacked people.
Because there was no other people there. So then, 2 other people should come into this. They must obviously, they've seen us swimming, gone, that's a great idea.
I actually think I know which couple it was. You know when we were laughing?
Oh, was it the ones up on the balcony
yes,
looking at us?
I think it was them.
Oh, right.
They were on the balcony watching us, and they must have been like, they are having fun. How dare they?
Yeah.
I need to copy them.
Let's go take some of that fun. They're hoarding all the fun. Let's steal some of their fun. So they come down. So they don't have an original idea in their head, obviously. they can do something else. We've thought of something original, going for a swim
in a pool complex of 1,000 people. Yeah. How dare they try and use it?
They've also come up with it. They haven't come up with that idea. They've stolen our one. So they're coming over to have a swim. So we're like, let's leave the pool. So, because I'm like, I don't want to be around these people anymore because they're scum. So, like, let's leave. And as we're leaving as they're coming in, they came and sat down and put their stuff on the 2 sunbeds right next to our 2 sunbeds that we put our stuff on. So it's an empty pool complex with 30, 40 sunbeds. And they decide of all of those sunbeds where to put their stuff, the 2 next to ours.
What is wrong with these people? And I'll say they were swingers. That's the only explanation.
Well, at least we'll proposition me then, is all I'm saying.
Put your keys in a bowl. And
don't just come and sit next to me awkwardly. That's real. Again, answers on postcard. What does this mean? What is wrong with these people?
You're going to have to bring it back around to invisibility.
So that's why I'd be invisible. So I'd go in the pool and weirdos wouldn't come and try and sit next to me when I just got out of a pool.
Would you be equally as annoyed if they did, though? Like, irrationally, you'd be like, they can't see me. I know they didn't mean to.
Oh, I'd still be, yes, annoyed.
Because you might be sitting next to an invisible person all the time, and they might be like, this jerk.
Oh, I don't like that. Because now you're lumping me in with all these terrible, terrible people. But like, I would be irrationally, but that's the key word. It would be irrational to be angry with them, but I would still be.
Okay.
So there we are. That's why I want to be invisible.
That is so out of left field for anyone listening right now. You were just about to say something Kevin Bacon said, and then you randomly started talking about pool Nazis or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Should I share Kevin Bacon's wise words?
You did leave them on a bit of a cliffhanger.
It's a cliffhanger, isn't it? What did Kevin Bacon say? What did he say? Answer on a postcard again.
I think he said,
please stop sending us postcards. That's weird. Send emails. What's with the postcard stuff?
I think he famously said, Footloose. Footloose. Everybody get footloose.
Yeah. He did say something along those lines.
I don't think he did because he didn't sing that song.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Was he like, hey, you're 6 degrees away from me? Just at all times.
Yeah.
So it was like, step 6 steps back, bitch. You know the rule.
Oh dear. But what he actually... Should I say what he actually said?
Yes.
Yeah,
what did Kevin Bacon say about being invisible?
Well, he said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, you'd be surprised what you can do when you don't have to look yourself in the mirror. They're wise words.
It's not wise, though.
No.
Just don't look in a mirror. You do whatever the hell you want, normally.
Yeah, true. Yeah, take that, Kevin Bacon. So much for your wise words.
I honestly can say that if I was blind,
yeah,
I still wouldn't murder people.
Ugh.
Or commit rape.
Goody two shoes.
I don't think that looking at yourself in a mirror, being invisible for some reason has these connotations of you can do what you want, and it has evil connotations. I don't understand why.
Because you don't really exist, do you, in a way?
Yes, you do exist.
But not in certain ways, you don't.
So you're saying as soon as you become invisible, you have an existential crisis?
I have a what?
Existential.
Okay.
What did you think I said? Existential for Easter.
I'm having the existential crisis now. Yeah, I think you would, because it's kind of like you don't visually exist anymore. You exist in sound and in touch and in smell, but you don't exist in the visual spectrum anymore.
Nonsense. It's just nonsense.
How is that nonsense?
You can still respect the memory of someone that's died that can't smell, hear, touch, or see anything. Like, you can still respect people and you can learn lessons from the dead. Like, you read history books and people want to emulate people they've never met before. I don't really know most celebrities exist. Like, I've just been told. Like, Jim Henson to me, I've never met him, but I want to take the things he taught people and I want to put them into my career. Being invisible. If I was invisible, I'm not going to be like, better do some rapes. Like, no, that's not going to be number one on my list.
But that's not what we're talking about here, you see. You've gone off on a bit of a tangent.
It feels like what we're saying here.
No, what you're saying is... If you're
invisible, you can commit as many crimes as you want because you're not a person anymore.
No. What we're saying is, if you don't exist in the visual spectrum anymore, if you can't be seen, a part of you doesn't exist in the same way that it did before. Your physical form doesn't exist anyway.
You can get away with shit, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it would. I can understand how that would create, a psychological episode, or where you would question your existence and the nature of things.
So
I can understand
are you
that.
saying that if you do anything while you're invisible, you can't actually be blamed for your own actions because you're going through a psychological meltdown?
So I'm saying I would definitely use that in court. Yeah, that would definitely be one of my defences.
This is nonsense.
How is this nonsense?
Just because you're not.
It's like imagine somebody took your identity away from you, yeah? So like you try to go to the bank and stuff, but your identity doesn't exist anymore. As far as everyone is concerned, you've got no birth certificate, you've got no identity, right? Yeah. That could drive you insane in our society, that no one recognises nothing about you has actually changed. These are all social constructs. You still exist, but you would still have that psychological torment of the society not recognising your identity and stuff. Imagine if you couldn't actually be seen, if you were invisible.
That's fine, and I can maybe I would talk to you about that.
Yeah.
If you couldn't turn it on and off.
Okay.
Because you can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
You don't have to commit crimes if you can't look yourself in the mirror, or whatever hell Bacon said. Like, just look yourself in the mirror. Like, you can turn it back on again. It's all fine.
I can't believe you just took Kevin Bacon's words in vain like that. I can't believe you just cast it off as if it means nothing. As if the words of Bacon mean nothing to you.
Bacon means a lot to me.
I know, you love bacon.
Not Kevin Bacon.
What?
Well,
he's the best type of bacon.
His angry dancing is impressive.
Yeah.
I think they...
Is he a good-looking guy, Kevin Bacon, do you think? Because in some ways, like...
In The Hollow Man, yes.
Well, because he's invisible. But it's like he's... Kevin Bacon... Let's pivot this conversation to about the looks of Kevin Bacon, because... In some ways, he's held up as like the ideal man. He's handsome, he's gorgeous, he's got that sort of...
This is what happens when you
sharp,
talk about something
features.
for an hour and then it all gets lost. You start talking about the perks of looking like Kevin Bacon.
But I just want to know, because I'm going to say it, and I don't know if I really want to say this out loud, but I'm going to.
Wait, not just out loud.
To an audience.
Yeah.
I never thought Kevin Bacon was a good-looking guy. I never thought he was... I don't look at Kevin Bacon and think, wow, he's a good-looking guy. But he's often held up as like... I think he's got better as he's got older. But what...
Who are these people that are like, oh, Kevin Bacon?
Well, like, because he was always the leading man, like, back in the day.
Are you just talking about people talking about bacon? Do you think every time someone's like, I love me some bacon, they're like,
I'm
Kevin.
assuming they mean Kevin, yeah. But, what would you give Kevin Bacon on a scale of 1 to bacon? What would you give him?
Bacon me crazy.
Would you say he's a good-looking guy? This is the real thing that our sci-fi fans want to know. Is Kevin Bacon a good-looking guy?
This is ridiculous.
Well, the quicker you answer it, the quicker we can move on to more pertinent issues.
This is just more cutting I have to do. No.
He's not a good-looking guy.
He's all bone.
He's all bone. Isn't that good, though? He can take you to the bone zone.
I don't want to go to his face bone.
No?
No.
No?
He's all jaw and cheek.
His features are too sharp, are what you're saying?
Yeah, he's in the Franco camp.
Right. Interesting.
There's not much of him to go invisible.
Right, that's true. I think sometimes if he turned sideways, he'd go invisible.
He's already the hollowed out man. This is mean.
So I don't know why you just went to town on Kevin Bacon like that.
In the next 4 days.
I know.
You've got a power.
God, yeah.
And I hope that doesn't happen.
No, definitely not. I'm a huge Kevin Bacon fan.
Yeah, we can angry dance into eternity.
Yeah.
6 degrees away from me.
Right, we need to get back on track because you
Right.
keep diverting us with your
okay.
obsession with Kevin Bacon.
Would the legal system change? Wait. What do you think would happen if the government found out you existed as an invisible man?
They would dissect me. They would capture me relatively easily because I'm not fast anymore. Anymore. When I was a kid, I was fast. They wouldn't have caught me. I was faster than Kevin Bacon when I was young. But now, not so much. So they would capture me. They would dissect me.
Why would they dissect you?
Because they want to know my secrets, my
Surely they would just
invisibility
take your blood.
secrets. Yeah, they would take my
They
blood
also
while
don't
they were
need to.
dissecting
They
me.
know what medicine they gave you because it was a medical testing. They gave it to you. They know what it is.
They always dissect though, just to make sure, you know. We've all seen that.
Aliens always probe butts.
Yep. And
Scientists always dissect.
They always dissect. Yeah, they want to know.
With you awake for some reason.
Yeah, and I've never quite understood like why if somebody has a power or they have something, it's like let's dissect them. Like, but they're going to die then, and then you don't have that power anymore. That's weird, but
Jealousy.
it is jealousy, I think.
So we've established we'd go to casinos and we'd find the worst human being, challenge them to a poker game, and then you'd whisper the answers into my ear.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said,
You'd go on planes.
petty theft, parlor tricks.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. We'd start a magical act. We said.
yeah.
Where,
Well,
like,
I
you
mean,
read
you
cards-
keep saying we. I wish you wouldn't drag me into your crazy plans.
Yeah, but you need a visible man.
Yeah, I mean, what is an invisible man without a visible man?
Yeah, it's like a straight
In fact,
man.
the only thing that makes an invisible man is its stark contrast to the visible man
Woman.
or woman.
That's like the ultimate.
Yeah,
The invisible man and
the visible woman,
the solid woman.
the solid woman.
Yeah.
But hang on a minute.
Yeah, I know. But wait, the viscous man and the solid woman. No.
It would be the liquid man
Yeah.
and the solid woman. But this is like, but yeah,
Visible.
invisibility only exists as a counterpoint to visibility, doesn't it? Yes, very,
So you need
very
me.
interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
No, because I don't think a musical act or whatever it is you want us to do,
Magical act.
a magical act.
I want you to stand there and I want you to disappear. But like in the Prestige, what they say is it can't be too good. You need to give him a bit of thing. So what you need is a really shit assistant, me, to like be the one that's like, oh, I can read your card, and then you'll stand behind and be like, the 6 of clubs, and I'll be like, is it the 6 of clubs?
And again, we go full circle where Tanya has referenced the Prestige.
I don't
Again,
reference
I
the
can't
Prestige,
tell you
right?
how many times in our life at some point Tanya says it's kind of like the Prestige, and then explains why something that is nothing like the Prestige is exactly like the Prestige.
Guys, we all need to understand that Prestige is one of the finest films of our time.
Yeah, you are obsessed with the Prestige.
It's such a good film.
Yeah.
It ends where it starts, tells you what it's gonna do. It's a magic act of a film. It's all about cinema. They're the actors and the director, and they're playing a part, and it's about the mystery of cinema. You're watching something that they've told you the twist.
Yeah.
Mwah! Beautiful.
Yeah. So if for all of you there playing Tanya Bingo, if you've got reference to the Prestige, take that one. You've got to be pretty close to the full house by now. Tanya will ask if people would pray to me and worship me as an invisible person very soon.
You've already mentioned that.
Yeah, well, it's only a matter of time.
What's on your bingo? Nazis. Mentioning Nazis.
Really? Is that on my bingo?
You mention Nazis every time.
Really?
And at some point you would always say you'd commit a crime. Always.
Really?
Yeah, you always say you'd kill someone. That's always in there.
That's fair.
And you always say you hate people or something.
Yeah, that's fair as well. Okay. So you might have... This might be full house this week then, for both of us.
Oh, do you think the legal system would have to change for one person
No.
to be invisible?
No,
you don't.
that'd be chaos.
Do you think that they'd like attach a collar to you or something so they could always know where you are?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if they hadn't dissected me first. Yeah. They'd probably have to... You wouldn't be allowed to use your invisibility.
Do you think they'd
Without
use you as
permission?
like a spy?
Well, yeah, I think they would try to recruit you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't announce it to the world, would they?
No, I suppose not.
Which is why you should be a magical act. Out there in the open.
I don't want to be a magical act.
Yeah, but I'm not letting you go flying around the world on your own, but I don't feel right about you stealing tickets for me, so
You have to earn your way.
yeah. You need to earn it for me through arseholes playing poker. That's what I
Okay.
need to.
Yeah, I suppose. But But there's nothing that says when you play poker you can't look at the other person's cards.
There definitely is.
I don't think there is. I think they're expected to protect their hand so you can't see it. But there's nothing to say you can't look at their hand, is there?
I don't think there's anything that says like you shouldn't completely cheat at every game, but you just shouldn't. There's no rule in Monopoly that says you shouldn't steal money from the bank.
I think there is.
No,
I think there is.
No, there isn't.
I think there is. And I think if you can find me the rule in poker that says you can't go invisible, go around and look at the person's hand, find me that rule. Unless you can, I'm going to keep sandpapering that ball until it reverse swings.
Oh, very nice. Very topical. Sorry, Australia.
Okay, so...
Would you be good or bad, overall?
I think overall I'd be good. I wouldn't do anything too bad.
Oh, I know. We talked about Death Note. That this is actually a bit like Death Note. So
very obliquely.
Well, Death Note is a Japanese anime.
Yeah.
About a boy who finds a book dropped by the death god, and when he writes people's names in it, they die, and he can choose how they die and when they die. And he uses it to kill really bad criminals. So he says he's...
essentially a superhero.
Yeah, he's doing justice because he's killing bad people. But the other side of it is, but they haven't had a trial. Is it your right to decide who lives and dies? And I was saying to Lee how being invisible is a little bit like that. It's kind of like you're deciding who's a bad person and who you can commit a crime against. So it's probably better to just not commit a crime against anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really want that money though. Really want it. If I was invisible...
So I'm liked in your... Akira.
Yeah.
Akira?
No, it's not Akira, is it? It's just Kira, isn't it?
Kira, and I'm liked.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd be... I don't know. You're invisible. There'd be so much stuff you'd want to do. I'd want to go see things that I wouldn't want to see.
You know what I would do? I'd sneak into dance classes and not pay for them and just dance. That's what I'd do.
That's theft.
Yeah, it is.
You're stealing that person's time.
What if I really liked it? Maybe once I knew the dances really well, then I'd pay.
Right, okay. So it's kind of like piracy in a way. You'd pirate those dances.
Which we've never done.
And would never do.
Because that's a crime.
Against humanity.
Do you want to be invisible? Is this something you really want?
We've
talked about it too much now. You're going full circle.
Yeah, I'm bored of it now. I hate being invisible now. It's so many questions. Yeah, I don't mind being invisible, but it's... I don't think it's all it's cracked up to be.
Would it change if you couldn't turn it off?
Yes, I think if I couldn't turn it off, I wouldn't want it. Yeah. I think just being invisible all the time would kind of suck. Yeah,
I agree. What are the perks?
Being able to commit crimes.
No!
No? Okay, so what's the perks?
No crimes!
Well, there aren't any real perks unless... The only reason it's good to be invisible is that other human beings can't see what you're doing. Well, why would that be good? The only time that would be good...
It lacks self-consciousness anymore.
Well, yes, but it's primarily the reason you don't want people to see you doing things is because you're doing bad things.
No, it's just because I dance badly. I suppose
you could just dance in this house, though. I've seen you do that, and I do it all the time.
But neighbours see me.
No, they don't.
Oh, you don't like clothes? We said you don't like clothes. You can.
I don't like clothes.
Never have to wear clothes again.
Yeah, that's good. That I could be the nudist inside.
Did we decide when an object becomes visible again from your body? So if you sweat, can you see the beads of sweat on your head?
I think anything that has your DNA in it would be invisible. So sweat would be invisible. Pee. Does pee have a DNA in it?
Probably.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? And I think poo has.
But no one pees on crime scenes, so they don't put it in CSI.
I do when I see one, but most normal people don't.
Crime scene must piss on it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's like a dog, you know, like
you mark your territory.
I mark it, yeah.
That kind of means you committed the crime.
Well, you know, they have to prove that though in court, don't they?
With your DNA that's in your pee.
Shit. And my shit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so would you want it overall?
If I could turn it on and off, yes. Why not? It's an extra little power. If I can't turn it on and off, no, because that's really inconvenient.
Yeah, I agree. I suppose, yeah, so the similar ideas, the similar films in this one, Hollow Man, Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But then probably, yeah, Death Note. I'd say Death Note's quite similar.
Ish, yeah.
What about, is there anything, what about the Flash? Doesn't the Flash almost have invisibility because he can move so fast?
He moves so fast. Yeah, kind of.
It's a lot more tiring than our one though.
Yeah.
I can sit on my ass and be invisible. He has to like just has to run.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I
Okay.
mean, it's a good thing to have, but it's low level, I think, on the superpowers to have.
I think there's some people that could do real good with it, but I am too lazy, so I'd probably just use it for not having to look people in the eye when I'm on a train.
Yeah, you could just be invisible on the train, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, walking home late at night after a night out.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I would never get murdered.
No, never murdered almost.
I wouldn't have to walk with my keys in my fingers.
No.
Wouldn't have to be ready to shout out a description of the perp.
Yeah.
Always be ready. Ladies, if they're
Yeah.
dragging you to that car, don't shout help, be shouting 6'3", brown hair. I'm describing you now.
I know, yeah. What's that supposed to mean?
You gotta, if anything crime podcast told me, you gotta like pull out your own hair, put it on the floor, get some skin cells on that floor, like get that DNA there so they know where you were and when you were taken. So, is this a dystopia, midtopia, or utopia?
I mean, I think it's a utopia. Yeah, for me.
It's a utopia as long as you can turn it on and off and decide what to do with it.
Yeah, it's just an extra power that other people don't have, so that's a good thing.
And as long as nobody knows you have it.
Yeah.
Once everyone knows, then you're screwed.
Yeah, you won't want people to know that you could do that.
Yeah, I'd say this might be the first utopia we've had.
I know everything else you described is usually awful.
Oh, no. Muppet World. That was a utopia.
Was that a utopia?
That was a utopia.
Okay, lest we forget.
I think it's like episode 3 or something.
Muppet World. Yeah.
Where in the world can we find you?
Nowhere.
Nowhere?
Yeah.
If you're invisible, even less places.
Exactly, which is why I want to be invisible.
It's kind of your dream, I'm realising now.
Yeah, it would be good. It would be good. It would definitely have its advantages.
Do you know what we didn't mention?
What?
The fact that I, at one point, told Lee that he could only be invisible while he was holding his breath.
Yeah, we didn't mention that.
It would be one of our defect men. You could
Yeah.
hold your breath.
And then you'd be invisible.
So you'd have to like run around holding your breath, and then just a naked man would appear while you took a big breath. You could carry on running.
Yeah, that's got some comedic legs.
I like that. I think you could put that in a cartoon. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be funny.
His little thing jiggling around. Jiggling around.
His little thing jiggling around. We all know that's always funny.
The intermediate flasher, because it would just pop up now and again.
It'd be like what was it? Was it Tarantino movies or something? He sometimes puts like just a frame or two of a dick and balls.
What?
Is that a Tarantino movie? I think so.
I've never noticed that.
No? Well.
I'm going to go frame by frame for it.
Yeah, you've got to be more attentive.
Well, if you do want to find us, you can find us on Twitter at drinks_dystopia. Or you can email us a postcard, apparently, as Lee keeps saying. You can email us a postcard at drinksandystopia@hotmail.com. Rate and review us on iTunes, because that will force other poor bastards to listen to this.
Mm-hmm. And we can get the word out about these goddamn cinema talkers and these restaurants sitting next to us.
You didn't mention that. There's no reference to this.
No?
No. Don't sit next to us in a restaurant. If it's empty, don't sit next to us.
Don't sit next to
That's
us
all
in
you
a
need to
restaurant. Yeah. Don't sit next to people in cinemas. Don't talk in cinemas. Don't sit next to people in restaurants. Don't go into the pool if other people are in the pool and it's 8 o'clock at night and they just want to be left alone. For fuck's sake.
And no one in space can hear you scream.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is good.
The last episode was so much better.
Yeah? We'll just have to go down in history as, if you only
The
you'd
invisible
heard
episode!
the invisible episode. If only our recorder had recorded it all. Oh, the joy you guys would have had.
That would have been our first funny episode.
Yeah. Never mind. We can always just strive towards that
It'll
again.
live in infamy.
Yeah.
Well, to dystopias.
To dystopias. Cheers.